One. Welcome to all viewers of the FWSP Network of Friends. My name is Randy Paskey, and I'm a member of the Board of Directors for the Friends of Wisconsin State Parks. I've been on the board for about 6 years. Currently, I'm the chairperson of the Outreach Committee. Part of those responsibilities is to maintain the Friends of Wisconsin State Park webpage, e-news burst, and today we're reaching out to our friends groups. We're here today with Tina Jacoby, who is the current president of the Friends of Rock Island State Park. Tina has joined the board in 2014, works with just about every committee for the Friends group, from merchandising. She's worked as a docent, which sounds absolutely wonderful. She's worked at as concession planning, fundraising committee, and works as an administrative secretary, assistant at Concordia University. Tina, what do you do in your spare time?
Great question. Thank you so much for having me. My husband and I actually got involved with the Friends of Rock Island in 2014, like you said. But I've been going to Rock Island since I've been in high school and been camping there on and off since then. And so it came up that we could start to volunteer with them. And so slowly but surely we've volunteered in almost every position or every committee, as you've said, every role, at least, I've seen how it works. It's kind of interesting. So now they had a position open for president, and so they were gracious enough to vote me on as president. And officially, that'll happen in July. I'm currently the acting president since that spot was vacant. We also have a daughter. She's 18 months. So she keeps us very busy, but she loves the island just as much as we do. She's been at the lighthouse with us already. She's been to work weekends with us. And so it's very exciting to have that younger generation. Even though she doesn't quite know what's going on yet, she's there and helping in spirit. So it's good.
I was reading on the Facebook page as well as the Friends of Rock Island webpage that your friends board comes from all over, as far as away as from Indiana and as close to Rock Island as Washington Island. How do your friends watch? Tell us how our friends watching this video, how is it that this diverse group, hundreds of miles away from one another, can actually come together and plan an event?
It is quite a unique gathering of people that helps out. You're right. We have a board member who's down in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We have several scattered throughout Wisconsin, Madison area, Milwaukee area, myself in Random Lake. We do have some in Green Bay, Sturgeon Bay, and then a couple from Washington Island themselves. And yeah, we utilize a lot of technology. Email is one of our key communicating factors. So we will, communicate regularly through emails with ideas or questions or concerns. We do have 3 official meetings throughout the year that we do ask our board members to try to attend, and that way we can do the more formal board necessities at those meetings. But we have had people who have called in, to those meetings and done a conference call and things like that. So that works really well too. And as we're doing today, we have, teleconferencing available as well. Our board tends to be a little more traditional, so they like the face-to-face contact. So a lot of our board members will travel in order to get things done. But since we've all sort of been on the board for a while, we sort of know what's coming up and what needs to be done, and we all chip in to try to get it done. So.
That's fabulous. I love it how distancing actually brings people together when they need to come together. Mm-hmm. I think it's great. The Friends of Rock Island have quite a few fundraising events. Tell our audience about these events and how you found funding sources for all of the things that the Friends of Rock Island has done.
Great question. We consistently take donations anytime, and we've, in the past several years, been putting those in a special fund called Dollars for Decking. And so we're working currently on getting the funds to replace the wooden deck boards that are around the Thorderson Boathouse deck. Currently, we've raised $30,000, and the state DNR has accepted the gift for that. So that project hopefully will move forward this season with the replacing of those wooden deck boards so that it's a nice, safe deck again, and it doesn't need, you know, sheet metal or anything to make it safe. So that's good. So that's been an ongoing thing. Anyone that wanted to donate could just write in a check and say Dollars for Decking, and it went in that special fund. We do have a fundraiser annually that comes up, and we plan for that one. That's usually around July 4th. This year it is July 4th since that's the Saturday closest. And so we do a silent auction that day. We sell hamburgers and brats and hot dogs on Rock Island, which is really the only day you can purchase food on the island. So we make money that way. We sell merchandise that day as well, but we do sell merchandise throughout the season at the Lighthouse Museum as well. So that's our biggest fundraiser. The rest of them are usually donations throughout the year.
It's the Friends group, as well as the Rock Island State Park, faces daunting tasks as far as getting materials to the park. For those listeners and viewers who aren't familiar with the Friends of Rock Island, it's on an island, and it's tough enough planning an event and having people come to event, and then looking back and say, you know, we did some pretty good things here. Looking into the future, are there future plans for the Friends of Rock Island, whatever they could be?
Sure. We are focusing on continuing our annual events. So that would be the fundraiser. And we also have work weekend in May usually. So those two events we plan to continue on, tweaking those as we need to. Beyond that, we've got a few large things going on right now. The Dollars for Decking, like I mentioned, will hopefully fund the replacing of the deck. We're also currently working on a camp host program right now, and that will be a program where we will help to line up volunteers for camp host that will oversee the campground and help us sell merchandise and wood to the campers and things like that. And so we're helping with building a camp host cabin because, as you mentioned, it's quite a feat to get to Rock Island. You have to take a ferry from the mainland to Washington Island, drive across that island, and take another person ferry across to Rock Island. So our camp hosts would have to bring tons of things just to be able to stay there and be camp hosts. So we thought if we could build a building that would help house them, that would be one thing they didn't have to worry about. So we're currently working with the DNR to get the agreement in place and to make sure that everybody, you know, understands what the program rules are and how that's going to work. And so we're close to getting that. Hopefully that'll be up and running at some point during this season, but it may not be right away. Another large thing that we're looking into doing is helping to support the DNR in whatever they need to do with any high water things. So as an island, the water levels are very high, and so there's been some concerns expressed about the dock level itself, and what if the water gets higher than the dock level. So currently we're working with and helping to support whatever the DNR comes up with as a solution to help fix that. There's a company that's been hired to give some recommendations, and so we'll help assist with that if they need assistance with that. And then the Lighthouse program, also as you mentioned, is one of our unique programs as well throughout the state of Wisconsin, where it's a live-in docent program. So our docents come for a week at a time. They volunteer to have the museum open from 10 to 4 each day for tours, guided tours, but then they get to take care and help maintain and clean the lighthouse when they're off times, their off-duty times. So we're always perfecting that program and helping to get more people on board and train new docents and new volunteers, and so that's an ongoing future project as well.
This has been fascinating. I enjoy this. Rock Island is one of those state parks that we never made it to yet. We're still planning on it, but we never quite made it. All my brothers and sisters have been there, and it's a fascinating place. It really is. Well, on behalf of the Friends of Wisconsin State Park Network of Friends, I want to thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to chat with us and chat with our friends. Do you have an email, or does the Friends of Rock Island have an email, or how can others get in contact with you?
Yes, we do have an email. It's friendsofrockisland@gmail.com. We also have a website, fori.us, and on that website there's a board page. You can get my email and any of our board member emails there as well. So if you want to email me directly, that's fine too. But our general Friends of Rock Island at gmail.com is, our catch-all email for any questions or inquiries. We do also have a Facebook group page. So if you're on Facebook, follow us or like us and join the group. And we post lots of updates and what's going on that page.
Thank you, Tina.